This is the story of an entire colony that simply disappeared. More than 100 men, women, and children vanished without a trace. There were no bodies, no signs of a battle, no evidence of a hurried escape. Just a single word, carved into wood. And more than 4 centuries later, it's still one of America's oldest unsolved mysteries. In 1587, over 100 English settlers arrived on Roanoke Island. Their goal was ambitious: build a permanent English settlement in the New World. Among them were craftsmen, farmers, families, even children. One of those children, Virginia Dare, became the first English child known to have been born in the Americas. But life on Roanoke quickly became difficult. Food was scarce, supplies were running low. Relations with some nearby indigenous communities had grown increasingly strained. The colony needed help. So its governor, John White, made a difficult decision. He would sail back to England for supplies. Before leaving, he reached an agreement with the settlers. If they ever abandoned the colony, they would carve the name of their destination into a tree or post. And if they left because they were under attack, they would carve a cross beside the message. White expected to return within months. History had other plans. England went to war with Spain. Ships were diverted. His return was delayed, not for weeks, but for 3 years. When White finally arrived back at Roanoke in 1590, he found something he never expected. The settlement was deserted. Every colonist was gone. The houses had been carefully dismantled, not destroyed. There were no bodies, no signs of violence, no evidence of a desperate struggle. It looked less like a disaster and more like a planned departure. Then White found the only clue. Carved into a wooden post was a single word. CROATOAN was the name of a nearby island and of an indigenous community that lived there. Curiously, there was no cross carved beside the word. To White, that suggested the settlers had left voluntarily. He wanted to sail to CROATOAN immediately, but a violent storm forced his expedition back to sea. He never found the colonists, and he never returned. Over the next 4 centuries, theories multiplied. Some historians believe the settlers were welcomed into nearby indigenous communities, where they gradually blended into local society. Others think they moved inland in search of better land. Some argue disease, conflict, or famine eventually claimed them. Archaeologists have uncovered clues that suggest at least some colonists may have integrated with indigenous communities. But no single discovery has ever explained what happened to everyone. The Lost Colony of Roanoke remains exactly that. Lost. Not because no one searched for it, but because history never recorded where its people went. Perhaps they didn't disappear at all. Perhaps they simply adapted, built new lives, and became part of a different community, leaving behind only one final message for someone who arrived 3 years too late. Because sometimes, the greatest mystery isn't how people vanish. It's how an entire chapter of history can quietly fade away.